But you can see here, 1.7 million, 2,000 retweets, and that is, like, that's crazy engagement. 60,000 impressions in 20 minutes.
This passage highlights Caitlin Clark's commitment to improvement, even at the peak of her career. Despite her success in growing popularity, she continues to work on her weaknesses with coach Stephanie White, leading to noticeable growth in her game. Her ability to silence critics and constantly evolve shows her resilience and determination to always strive for excellence. Unlike others who may rest on their achievements, Clark is focused on becoming a more complete player.
Like, she's not out there practicing stuff that she doesn't need to practice. Obviously, she's still getting shots up and stuff, but it's like, work on your weaknesses. Work on your weaknesses and work on the important weaknesses. Like her finishing and her ability to kind of shoot that floater, that mid-range, the in-between game. Not shoot long twos, but everything about the in-between game was the biggest downside.
In this workout, Caitlin Clark is focusing on mastering off-foot layups, specifically finishing with her non-dominant foot. While it might seem like a small change, it's a game changer. This adjustment will give her an advantage when driving against taller defenders, allowing her to catch them off guard and finish more effectively at the basket.
Caitlin Clark, like, this is not an easy shot, by the way. This is a off-foot left-hand layup floater from outside the key. Like, that is not an easy shot to shoot. She's working on a lot of off-foot stuff, a lot of like jump stop in finishing. Like, almost all the finishes she's making are off-footed, which I really like, and it's something that there's a severe lack of, especially teaching at youth level. Like, if you go to like a Serbia or something, like, those off-footed layups are like what almost all the coaches are.
This off-foot layup technique is rare among American basketball players, but it's the kind of versatility that sets players like Nikola Jokic apart. By thinking ahead, staying unpredictable, and staying a step ahead of the competition, Caitlin Clark is showing she belongs in the league of basketball innovators.
This isn't a skill you see often in American basketball players. It's the kind of versatility that sets players like Nikola Jokic apart, thinking ahead, staying unpredictable, and staying a step ahead of the game. And Clark, she's proving she belongs in that league of innovators.
The mid-range shot to her game, and with her adding that is her adding something else to her toolbox that is going to be electrifying. Because not only do you got to worry about her getting inside, getting to the paint, you also got to worry about her killing you from three. Now she's going to kill you from the...
Clark is not only famous for her lethal left hand, but now she's pushing herself to match that intensity with her right. Can you fathom how challenging it'll be to defend against her when she can dominate with both hands? It's as if she's unveiling an entirely new level to her game, making her more unpredictable and unstoppable than ever before.
Clark shot a shot stepping to her right, and I like that again. So a pull-up midi and a shot stepping to her right, and I actually like it because when she's shooting to her right, she's not bringing the ball over this side, because we know with the deep threes, like, a lot of the time you have to bring the ball from somewhere, and like, she brings it over this side of her head to kind of get a little bit of more power in the arms, and she'll do that with a jump shot. But I like the way on her right side, she doesn't look as comfortable shooting, as uncomfortable shooting to her right as she did last.
Now, let's talk about those floaters, the soft, high-arching shots that effortlessly glide over defenders' outstretched arms. Clark is mastering them, and it's a brilliant move. Floaters are a guard's secret weapon, especially when the paint is crowded with defenders, offering a perfect solution when space is tight.
To be fair, you could tell she worked on her floaters coming into post-Olympic break. Like, the amount of more floaters that she was shooting.
Here's where it gets exciting. Clark isn't just going through the motions with her mid-range shots. She's driving the ball like it's an extension of her hand, each drill filled with intensity and intent. You can see the focus in her eyes as she hones every move, crafting muscle memory for battle. This isn't about showing off for the cameras. It's about sharpening her skills for the real fight on the court.
She's driving in more. She ain't selling it for three, and she's getting her mid-range shot all together now. Look, another mid-range shot.
And who's behind orchestrating this basketball masterpiece? None other than Stephanie White. You might be asking yourself why everyone's talking about White's influence. Well, let me tell you, this is far from your typical coach-player dynamic.
So obviously, when you've got your head coach leading the individual player workouts, I like that. Because like, obviously Stephanie White was a player, pretty damn good player. But for me, I think it's a big thing with when it comes to Stephanie White is that, like, you know that there's a level of respect.
White brings a deep well of experience to the table, having walked in Clark's shoes as a player and coached at the highest levels. What truly sets her apart, though, is her hands-on approach. In the video, you can see White right there on the court, demonstrating techniques and offering real-time feedback. This level of engagement is rare for a head coach, especially during individual workouts. She could easily rely on any assistant, yet she chooses to be right there, guiding each movement herself.
She could work out with whatever coach she wants, and she's choosing to work out with the Indiana Fever coaches. Guarantee you she would not be choosing to work out if Chrissy Sides was still there. So that's obviously the level of coach that she is, that Caitlin Clark's actually choosing to work out with her team for individual workouts.
Most head coaches might drop by briefly with general advice, but not Stephanie White. She's fully invested in Caitlin Clark's growth, guiding her through every repetition like a master shaping a protege. White's coaching style is all about unlocking potential and pushing players to surpass their limits. With Clark's talent and drive, the results could be extraordinary.
And obviously it's just her with some assistant coaches. I'm surprised there are not more players like kind of almost in these workouts, but they're probably doing a lot of workouts with individual players.
Clark is already a dominant force, but with White fine-tuning her skills, she could become unstoppable. It's not just about adding new moves, it's about refining every aspect of her game, making her more efficient, unpredictable, and lethal. What's wild is that this is just the beginning. We're witnessing the relentless work that creates legends. Clark has that Kobe Bryant mentality, constantly adding new skills. While her game day dominance may seem effortless, it's the behind-the-scenes hustle that tells the true story.
It seemed like she just got something new in her game every single game. Like, do you guys remember the game she just started spamming the behind-the-back dribbles? Was it Dallas before the Olympic break? Where, like, with Caitlin last year, I'm not joking when I say this, if you watch game by game by game, it was like, you know, in 2K when you just equip new animations, she would just randomly get a new animation every.
The workout is just one part of the story. Beyond that, it's the physical transformation, fan reactions, and what it means for the upcoming season. Clark's skills and fan base are growing. Remember when some thought her fan support would fade after that Time magazine interview? They were wrong. Her reputation is stronger than ever, and she's now racking up millions of impressions, proving her deep connection with fans.
But you can see here, 1.7 million, 2,000 retweets, and that is, like, that's crazy engagement. 60,000 impressions in 20 minutes. And like, that's the thing, is like, so many viral tweets about this add to that. Like Robin Lundberg, he's got nearly 300,000 impressions on his tweet.
This wasn't just another practice clip. It exploded in a way no one expected. The video garnered 2,000 retweets on Twitter. You might be wondering, how does that stack up against other NBA content? Let me tell you, it's on a whole different level. This kind of engagement is massive for women's basketball.
It is nowhere near like getting 1.7 million views on YouTube. Like, that is a difference. There is a big difference between that. But like, this is just a training video. This is literally just a video for a practice. We're talking about practice, not the game. Not the game that she goes out there and dies for. Insert backup camera. Not the game she goes out there and dies for. We're talking about practice.
And the comments, they're lighting up. Fans are going wild, with reactions like the league isn't ready for what comes next. And another one that stood out. Caitlin is getting ready. She's flat out a basketball player. It's clear that people aren't just watching, they're fully invested in Clark's journey. One response even said,
"About to crack 1 million views and we're trying to convince us Caitlin Clark's fans are gone."
Here's where it gets really interesting. All those predictions about Clark losing fans couldn't have been more wrong. This video shows that her true supporters, the ones who genuinely care about basketball, are still with her. They're not swayed by social media drama. They're here for the game, and they're here for Clark.
About to crack 1 million views and we're trying to convince us Caitlin Clark's fans are gone. And like, that's the big reason I'm making this video, is like, people were actually trying to say Caitlin Clark's fans are gone. Yes, the Jason Whitlocks of the world are gone. I mean that. Jason Whitlock is, the likes of him are gone. But they were like, they're never watching it for sports. The people that were never here for sports, yeah, they might be gone. They genuinely might be. Even if they've turned on Caitlin, these people were never about the sport. They're just looking for a new target. Their target was Angel Reese, and they were trying to big up Caitlin, even though for nothing to do with basketball. And now their target has changed to Caitlin. And they're not going to big up anyone. They're just going to attack Caitlyn, just like they've attacked LeBron for years. Like, it doesn't matter what, but it's like, work on your weaknesses. Work on your weaknesses and work on the important weak layups. Like, if I had Angel Reese for the summer, my focus is literally just to raise the point of her layups. To just, instead of her shooting the ball from here with two hands, especially off her right hand, because she doesn't have the worst hook shot with her left hand, because she's got really good touch on scoops, I would try to literally teach Angel Reese some sort of just a hook shot. Instead of releasing the ball from here, release it from here. And that's going to double her, not double her field goal percentage, but that's going to add 10 points